Steam has a $5 billion problem.
Steam has a billion-dollar problem it's currently being sued for yet again, as
Is it Counter-Strike or what? Because the overpriced stuff that they're getting over there, till now, it's shocking actually. You can't believe such numbers.
it's safe to say that Valve's situation just got so
Yeah,
much worse in the last couple of
Counter-Strike.
weeks after they were already hit with a $900 million lawsuit over anti-competitive pricing on Steam, because now the company's facing yet another legal battle. But this time, the lawsuit's coming from someone a little bit more serious, the New York State government. And now they're targeting something that's been a part of their business model
Okay, so the government now is suing them. That's actually terrible.
for years. But before we get into the lawsuit itself, let's make sure that everyone's on the same page when it comes to loot boxes, because obviously loot box gets thrown around a lot. But why does New York have a problem with it? So besides
And what about the prices? It's actually shocking with the items. I saw one video maybe on TikTok where it was saying the top 10 items over there, and it's completely overpriced. Who the hell buys that shit?
Steam, Valve also develops games like, Dota, Team Fortress, and Counter-Strike. And Counter-Strike specifically is the
Dota, surprisingly, till now it's performing well also. Better than League of Legends, I believe. League completely was destroyed. I'm not seeing any, like, the activities, they're not like before. Maybe TFT a little bit because I'm following the news here and there. But overall, League is suffering, I think. And Dota is usually on when especially when you're streaming it or for any competitive games. People are always tuning in. Huge numbers.
main game of the center of all this. So from just playing the game, you can randomly get a loot box. But if you want to open the loot box, you have to pay for a key, which is like, I think it's like $1.90 or something like that. And inside of those boxes, you have randomized cosmetic items like, custom weapon skins or glove skins. And just to be clear, none of these skins does anything functional in the game. It's just all for cosmetic or visual purposes. So it doesn't make the game pay to win, but a lot of players do choose to collect these items. Correction, keys cost $2.50. It's been a while since I've opened a case. But essentially, the loop is you get a free box through playing, and then you spend real money on a key to open it, and then you get
Remember when they increased or when they placed the price? I believe of it was Ari in League of Legends when they released their skin. And the price were I think 200 300, I forgot, but it was very overpriced that they had to change the price again. They had to lower it. They apologized. I think I forgot actually the story, but how the hell does Counter-Strike get away with such numbers
a
and
randomly
prices?
selected item. And most of the time, you get something that's worth less than the key. But sometimes you get something that costs a decent amount of money. So there was one skin that sold over $1 million in 2024, and the entire Counter-Strike skin market was valued at over $4 billion as of early 2025. So clearly, there is a lot of money. This is technically a $5 billion potential liability for Valve. One could call, like, you had the trading card games blew up massively, Counter-Strike
It's still going up, the trading card, especially One Piece. Luckily, I got into it between maybe what was it? OP7, between OP7 and OP12, and I got some good cards. I sold them now. I wanted to start collecting. I got some good cards also. I sold them for a very high value. Boa Hancock. Was it OP9? I think I got it in OP9. It was the special art, SP something. I forgot actually the codes also, but yes, valuable still. It's like Pokemon. TCG don't even get close to it. It's a whole other different world. Not only a small market or a niche.
items, the car market went crazy. Basically, anything that was scarce and that you could collect went absolute crazy in 2020. But for those of you guys who aren't familiar with the Counter-Strike skin buy key and then open box system, it does get a little bit interesting because unlike most games, with similar systems, Valve actually lets you do something with the items you win. You can trade them, you can sell them through their own platform, the Steam Community Market, and you can also sell your items and receive Steam Wallet credit where you can then spend it on other games, skins. There's also connect their Steam
Sorry, I never knew if they take any percentage. Most probably they take. But yeah, selling those overpriced items, this is the problem. Like they should regulate it. You can't sell something for $1 million over there, and which idiot will buy it back?
profiles to third-party marketplaces where skins can be sold for real money and withdrawn to a bank account. Or they could also be gambled. So there's this entire economy where these skins are worth X amount of money and you can insert them into random gambling sites and then play with that currency of what the skin was worth. Now, Valve doesn't officially support these third-party websites, and they've definitely made it a whole lot harder for them since they first started building them, because before, when there was new trade bans, people would just trade items instantly, and that was like the Wild West of both third-party markets and third-party gambling sites. But back to why the $5 billion skin economy is a massive blessing for Valve, because Valve takes a 15% cut on all Steam
Yeah, this is what I wanted to get to. So 15%,
market
good.
transactions. So whether you win big or spend endlessly chasing
They're getting their money, and 15%, that's actually good also. Good cut.
something rare, they are profiting either way. And the opening animation for these cases on CS2 is a spinning wheel, like a carousel of possible rewards that lands on whatever you're gonna get. And the lawsuit also specifically points out the animation even includes a near miss effect, where, you know, high value items can appear right next to the one you actually landed on. That technique has been used in casino machines for decades to create the feeling that you almost won
So it's manipulated 100%.
something better. And union is when someone stakes something of value on a game of chance in which they might receive something of value depending on the outcome.
Pure
According to Luna
gambling.
James, Valve's loot box system fits that definition exactly. You pay for a key, you open a box, and you get what
By
is
luck.
entirely determined by chance. And the items you receive can be resold for real money. So according to Lolita, per New York's legal framework, that combination makes it gambling. And the AG's investigation even included that someone converting a knife skin into actual cash by selling it on Steam Marketplace, using the proceeds to buy a Steam Deck and reselling the console offline. And I guess that's why you can get Steam Decks sold on like eBay or third-party websites for cheaper than what you can on the Steam store, because I guess people are just trying to, you know, liquidate their Steam funds. And I'm not gonna lie, that's a clever workaround. But now, a significant chunk of the lawsuit focuses specifically on the younger players, because let's be for real, these online games always have the chance of teenagers and kids playing them as well. So the office argues that exposing children to loot box mechanics introduces them to gambling behaviors at a formative part of their development. And obviously one could argue that Counter-Strike isn't a game meant for children, and that's made pretty clear on its Steam page. But I mean, I played it as a kid, and I definitely was exposed to gambling
Yeah, of course, we all played it as kids. Literally, maybe when I was 9 years old.
through Counter-Strike first. Now, that is through third-party gambling websites, but it's still interesting regardless. So, I mean, a lot of this should fall on the parents, as the platform itself also provides parental control tools, but it definitely does lead us to an interesting conversation to have. But in terms of what New York is actually asking for this lawsuit,
Yeah, but still, even when parents are included in this, you lived it yourself, or people themselves. Like, if someone is playing such games like Counter-Strike or even Call of Duty, let's not go far away. Who the hell will ask their kids, what are you doing? Especially when you want to buy something. You'll ask for the credit card, I just want to buy. And he's saying that it's only $2 for the loot box. So literally no one will say no. They will not even question what they are doing.
there are a few things on the table. First, they want Valve to stop offering loot box systems in the state forever, and they want restitution paid back to every New Yorker who spent money on keys. And the biggest ask is a fine worth 3 times whatever Valve profited from these practices in New York. And that exact number, that's not public. But between key sales and marketplace commissions across one of the most populated states in the country, it's safe to say that we're talking about something in the tens of millions at the minimum, but most likely into the billion, which is why most likely Valve has $1 billion problem here, because you're talking key sales, case sales, and marketplace transactions in the state of New York. I would not be surprised if we're in the $1 billion territory there. However, I think if this does go to trial, just like in the last video I made about a lawsuit against Valve, there are several pretty clear arguments that the company could use here. The first one being Counter-Strike's age rating and their built-in parental controls. And not only that, but the odds of every loot box item are publicly disclosed within the game. And I guess the biggest one is
there is no way that they're going to lose this. There is no way, because it's been years now. Everyone is gambling already on the game, and it's very popular. And plus, what he's also mentioning over here, they will have their own reasons, of course, and they are protected already. There is no way in hell that they're going to lose this lawsuit.
There's no real way to withdraw cash out of Steam. You have to go through a third-party website, like going through like eBay with the Steam Decks, or Facebook Marketplace, or a third-party like...
Yeah, so that's even more on their side, favorable, because they don't even sell them, and they don't even recommend third parties. That's against the rules, 100%.
Counter-Strike skin website, where you exchange your skins for crypto or something like that. But I also feel like there's a broader comparison that this does feel very close to, which, is trading card games like, Pokemon, Magic, sports cards. They basically all operate in a similar fashion. You pay a fixed price, you get randomized cards. Some are worth a lot of money, but most of them are worth not that much at all. And then you have an entire secondary market built around the valuable ones. My blue eyes! And to my knowledge, nobody's suing, Wizards of the Coast or the Pokemon Company for this. I guess the only difference here is that Counter-Strike and TF2 items are digital. None of that automatically means that Valve is legally in the right here, but it does explain why this debate has been running on for years without any...
The good thing I saw on One Piece website, actually, the trading cards now we are talking, is that there is always this small column also down the line that mentions that they are not responsible for the pricing of the card. They don't set the prices. It's almost similar to what's happening with Counter-Strike, but the point is that they also cleared from their end that they are not responsible for the prices. Maybe Counter-Strike is doing the same thing, but still I think it's easier to gamble with Counter-Strike than the trading cards that he's talking about, because I honestly enjoy and I love trading cards also, whatever the game is or the animation is. But it's much more logical to spend your money on cards rather than the digital services that they provide on Counter-Strike, especially with the prices. When you tell me about some $500,000 or $1 million things that you get over there.
Real resolution. Because there are some genuine arguments on both sides, and the line between game mechanic and gambling can be a little blurry sometimes. And I don't know if that's just me being a little bit desensitized, because we live in this like hyper gambling society now. I feel like after 20...
Super hyper. Now you can literally gamble anywhere. Thankfully, in the Middle East, they are blocked. They're completely blocked. You need VPNs to access them. But yeah, overall, it's not good. And we are living in a hyper gambling society now.
2020, people just start gambling on everything. I mean, sports betting got way bigger than ever. Now you have prediction markets coming into play, and then obviously you have all the, crypto meme coin speculation. Unfortunately, all of this has been very normalized in society, and it's pretty sad. But this is kind of a slippery slope, because it's like, if you start regulating this, what does that mean for trading card games? Like, there's... Is it Thomas Sowell that says Sowell?
But trading card games, they're in a different lane, actually. I don't know why he's always comparing them. It's a different lane, completely different lane. Especially when you're talking about some physical assets compared to what's happening on online digital. That's only one reason. But regarding trading cards, you can trace it back to Pokemon. It's been now 30, 40 years.
Sowell. Is it Thomas Sowell that says there's no real solutions, just trade-offs? I feel like that's where we are here today. But Belgium and Netherlands have moved to restrict and outright ban certain loot box systems back in 2018, classifying them as gambling under their own laws. And even more recently, in early 2025, the Federal Trade Commission went after Congosphere, the studio behind Genshin Impact.
I think this guy's a lost cause. Why don't we just cut our losses and get out of here?
And they hit them with a $20 million fine for allegedly misleading players about their actual odds of winning valuable items. So, this conversation in the gaming community has been alive for a long time. But as of right now, this is just beginning. Valve hasn't made any public statements, no trial date has been set, and cases like this tend to move extremely slowly. So, it'll be interesting to see what...
Yeah, I think they will find a solution maybe after 5-6 years, maybe if it will not take up to 10 years. But the point is that I don't think they will lose. Valve itself is a very, very powerful company. Just imagine, it lived for generations now. And they're getting stronger every time. Till now, I remember when I was 9-10 years old, talking about maybe 15-20 years back, I still remember their logo in my head. And I'm not even playing Counter-Strike anymore or opening their other games. But my point is that the company is very powerful. They will find a solution. They will defend themselves. It will go out all in vain. Maybe they will do some reparations here and there. But